Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-Trent. We are working on Floral Friday today, so it is a large floral. This is a 10 by 14 inch size paper, so this is a fairly large flower, and I'm showing you how to paint a fairly large flower if you want to paint big watercolor flowers as opposed to the small ones that I've been showing you, that you can put in your home decor or give as a nice gift. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go over supplies. I have a 10 by 14 inch piece of Arches 100% cotton cold pressed paper. I have my medium palette here with my paints inside here. I actually put some water inside all these little palettes because these they were pretty dry and I have to, basically get them going. And I've got my brushes, and the big brush I'll be using at the beginning is this really big Princeton Neptune number 6 brush. I'll probably be using the 12, a lot of the Neptune series today. The Neptune half-inch oval. It's a Princeton Neptune kind of day. So, to get started, and I also have my paper towel, of course, and water. This is not we can't draw this because this is all about basic strokes and whatnot. So I'm going to get some water on this big old brush. And you want to mix up a lot of paint. Now I've mixed up I'm doing a pink one today. You can do whatever color you want. I've mixed the medium red with some crimson, and you're going to get a lot of paint, get a lot of water on this brush. It holds a lot of water, and get in there. I'm going to actually get some more water. Get it really wet. And we're going to do some big old strokes. So you can go, there's a mess, outward like this. I'll be using you soon. Or inward like this. Outward and inward. So it's a big old brush with a lot of paint on this belly of the brush. So I'm just making simple, bold strokes, as you can see here. This big old flower. Not going all the way into the middle, obviously. Keeping that part completely open. I'm putting down this light wash of color. Now, the edges of these petals shouldn't look perfect. Make them a little rough. You want them unique. You don't want them these perfect weird round petals. I mean, maybe some flowers look like that, but mostly they don't. So just filling in this big old simple brush petals. You saw how simple that was with this brush. Just go like that. Now we're going to mix up again the same color. This is the medium red with the crimson. See? You can use that same brush if you want, or you can go in and grab this really nice Neptune half-inch oval. It's got this great point on it. Get some water on that. Dab it on the paper towel. And you're going to grab a little more concentrated of this color. You're going to push out some lines like this. Now, if you don't like it pointy like that, you would ground a rounder brush. And I'll show you what I mean. Again, mix these two colors. Here's the crimson. See, this soaks up a lot of this paint. And I will grab Winsor Newton cotton brush, number 8, round. And I'll get this wet. And it's less pointy. Still pointy, but not like that super point. And you can still get the same result. So you don't need that oval brush if you don't have it. See, and it's still wet on wet here because these petals are wet. And just pushing in this color. Can be a little darker on the edge there. Pushing it around. Get this big old flower petal. fairly big, isn't it? Now this is going to have to dry a bit. You can keep adding in some more concentrated color if you want. But it's just going to bleed. And it's not going to get the effect that we're looking for. See how it's just bleeding? It's doing that spider vein thing, which I don't want, so I'm going to clean off my brush and soak it up, or I can just push it around so the color tone mixes in nicely, but it's not that spider vein nasty. And why that happens is because it's just too wet. It's just wet on wet. And even this, I don't like this, so I'm going to clean up my brush. I'm going to go in and wet this and swoop it up. It made some dry lines that I don't particularly care for. So this is going to dry a bit. We're going to work on the leaves. This is where this Neptune half-inch oval comes in handy. I mixed up some Hooker's green, got a little burnt umber, more Hooker's green. I'm going to get this deep green. I'm going to push this up like so. You move your paper around. You don't have to stay in one spot. I'm going to take that seed on the edge. I'm going to hold it on the edge like a pencil, pull it down like that. Like that, over here on the side. And now I can go and add some leaves. I might add a little more brown to this color green. Get the color I like. You might not like that color. We're just going to do simple leaves. See how you just push down and pull up? If you want to make big old leaves to go with this big old flower, that's fine. I'm just doing some like vine type leaves. I can do the big old leaves up here in this area. Because it is a big flower. Make them a little jagged so they're not these weird. And put another one over here so it's not alone. And put one over here too, up on top. Get this fairly wet, but you don't want to really hit that pink. If you do, you can just mop it up like I've shown you 1,000 times. Make the edges of these leaves a little jagged. See, it's gone into the pink a little bit. You want to go in and add some deeper green with that. I'm adding the burnt umber with the green. And you just tap it in here and push it out. It's getting that little spider vein thing. So I'm going to just push it out with my brush. Sometimes the spider vein thing is good and sometimes it's not. So I just clean my brush, come back in, move this paint around. Here I'm just going to tap it. Not going near the green, the pink part. This one worked out pretty good. It didn't have too many spider vein kind of looking bleeds. And again, we're going to still build around this flower while it's drying. Going to brush, going to grab some burnt umber, and I'm going to do some stems out from the petal here and here. This seems a little too light brown for me, so I'm going to add a little black to it. And I'm putting little branches off of it. Making it like unique. Again, if you want to go and add another tone, I would say Payne's Gray, which is a light gray, excuse me, or even an indigo if you want to do that, a pale indigo, very pale. You can pull that down again with the tip of this brush and make small little petals. Instead of pushing all the way down, just pull on the side. See how I'm just doing it on the side? This brush is great, making simple leaves, petals. I just go in and dab in some dark of the Payne's gray or indigo, give it variety. So building this composition around this one big gigantic flower, because you might want a bunch of these, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like for decor in your room, whatnot. I don't know what you're going to use it for, but there's many varieties you can do. Many uses you can do with this. You could put smaller flowers around too and make this still the main guy. Like you can take some of this pink that we had before and just put some smaller little dabby flowers on these branches. Some over here. But keeping the main focus on the big guy. It's still very wet, so we're still going to build around this guy. We want to put like a smaller flower here. So you can still use this pointy one. See, just making these simple rounded petals. Keeping the middle open. So you can either dab in real concentrated crimson and see if it bleeds nicely. If it doesn't, you know how to fix it. And if your brush, just moving around. If you can still keep it in the pink tones, you can add some yellow tones. I might add some medium yellow, bright yellow, with a touch of red, a touch of brown, because it's just too bright. And where would you put this one? Well, think about it. Very pink, 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 maybe over here on the side. And it doesn't matter that it's on top of this branch that you saw over here. Maybe have another one peeking out over here. And a third one down here. Again, the emphasis that this is the big flower, these are little ones around it. Gonna go back in the green and add another big gigantic leaf on the bottom down here. I feel like it needs another one. Careful not to get it in that pink. And jag the edges a little bit. Maybe come over here a little more. Can add some brown or indigo. Okay, so I filled that in. And this feels fairly dry now, so I can go back in and add some more of that color that's really concentrated. Again, it's the crimson with the medium red. That's what made this color, if you're interested in finding out. I'm going to actually use my Princeton number 8 Neptune brush. It's a short brush with a nice belly to it and a nice point. I'm going to go in and make these simple swish lines. What's good about the bill is you can push down and swish out. Again, with this color, fairly concentrated, not super loose. Push down and pull out. And you want to grab some on the edge here. See, it's just really brightening up this flower. Just pushing the edge out like this. I want to grab a little strokes on the bottom here. Put another one here. But you get the idea, you're pushing it out. Don't want each petal to look the same. If that makes any sense, because they're supposed to be all unique. So here I'm moving the lines around differently for each one of them. And some might have more of a concentration of the color, like I just did that one. And under here. Just squiggle lines like this. That flower is starting to really come to life. Here you can go out in some crimson. I'll put a little umber in there. Get it really got the brown. Now see, that's going to bleed too much because it's wet. But you want to try and push out even darker towards the middle. And each time you do this layer of color on top of the color, it just gives more depth to it. So this one is crimson mixed with a little burnt umber. I'm going in and bleeding some of that. And here, just wisping out the middle to the edge on the little pink flowers down here. Fairly simple. And then just on the bottom here of these guys. For the yellow flowers, I'll grab some more of this medium yellow, add some medium red, so it's more orange, as you see here. I'll dab my brush on the paper towel, and I'll just wisp out lines coming from the middle, going outward. As you see. Maybe even some more strokes that are bigger. So we're going to keep building with this big flower. The leaves here need to get darker. So I've added some burnt umber, maybe a little Mars black, and the hooker's green. You could add indigo too if you want it to be bluer. We're going to put the line. Let me get that. We're just doing the simple lines. Same brush. So it's very concentrated, so it looks very dark. Almost like gouache in a way. Getting this darker underneath the petal because it's a shadow. And you can put some veins in the leaves if you want. And you can leave these ones lighter gray, that's fine. Still fairly wet, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go in and clean up my brush, as you can hear. It's making that noise because there's several brushes in there. I'm going to grab this orange yellow, add a little more yellow to it, dab it on my paper towel, and I'm going to go in and just make these little lines, like so, in the middle of this flower. Leaving some white spaces. Same thing with the bottom one. With the yellow one, I'm going to grab the burnt umber mixed with the black. And I'm going to go in leave a little halo and fill it in like it's a sunflower almost. Now for this, it's still fairly wet. Let's see, and we'll grab those two colors, the brown and the black, together. Make them fairly concentrated. Let's see if it bleeds. It might bleed. We're just doing little dots. If it's starting to bleed, we're going to stop right here, which it is, and I'm going to dry it and then come back. Okay, so I'm back. So I used a hairdryer or whatever drying tool you have, and I dried it. So now I'm just making these little dots on the outer edge. Throw in a couple in the middle. Now if we did this one, the yellow was still wet, it would just bleed into the whole thing and you wouldn't even notice the little black brown dots. You can put some little lines too, like stamen lines, if you want to do that. Like I'm doing here, little lines on the outside edge. There you go. And you can do the same thing for the small one if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You can just leave it the way it is. I'm going to clean up my brush one more time. And here I'm going to get really dark with that red. I'm going to get that red again, crimson, medium red. I'm going to add burnt umber. It's like a brown red. You could add indigo, but then it's going to get purple. I want it more brown. Or you could add green, Coco's green, because red and green make brown. And I'm just putting littler lines coming from the center. And then I swoosh some of the areas over here. So you really, your eye is gathered right into that center. You can put a couple little ones on the outside edge, just to give it a variety. But really you're looking for that center. All the focus is going to be the bullseye of the flower. And this is how you paint a nice big simple flower that you might want for your room or a gift and whatnot. And it can be in blues, it can be in purples, but you get the idea. So I hope you love this large flower painting tutorial. If so, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for all your comments. I'm so happy you stepped by my channel. This has been exciting for me, like growing this channel and trying to come up with new things for you. Daily is a little tricky, but you know, it's actually a challenge for me. So thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.